and neither love are hanging on with push and shove. Possession is the motivation that is hanging up the goddamn nation. Looks like they always end up in a rush. Everybody now trying to make it real compared to what? Come on, baby.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dan Pascucci, and welcome to another exciting edition of Everything But the Kitchen Sink, one of the fine programs put on here at Mansfield Cable Access TV. It is a pleasure to be here. I like to start every show by telling you that if you'd like to get a hold of us for any reason whatsoever, okay, for anything, we are here for you at mansfieldkitchensink@gmail.com, right there in front of your screen, courtesy of our ace director, our best friend, Jack O'Neill, Maestro Jack O'Neill, that is. We are also on Facebook at facebook.com/MansfieldKitchenSink. And we are on talkmansfield.org. And also, get this, you ready? We are on Twitter. Whatever Twitter is, we're there. And it's Kitchen Sink it's called Kitchen Sink TV on Twitter. So pretty good. So I just want to let you know. As usual, we if you want to be on this show, if you'd like to be a guest, if you'd like to come and watch in our studio audience, if you would like to recommend a guest, there's something you'd like to see, something you don't want to see, that's the way to get a hold of us. We'd love to hear from you. A few weeks ago, I had our good friend Eddie in and Bill Gouveia, local columnist at L, and we did a show about the Foxboro casino, the proposed casino in Foxboro, and we had advertised for people to come on, and Eddie and Bill were the ones that showed up, so that's who we did. We received lots of comments on that show, I would say on both sides, and one of the comments that hit home was that the deck was stacked, and I had to address that with the fact is we invited everybody. When I invite people on this show, I invite a blanket invitation. There are several groups out there involved in the Foxboro Casino. One is there's two or three anti-casino groups. There's a pro-jobs group. There's a pro-Foxboro group. There's the blue group, the red group, the green group, and then there's also a group of just casino information, and we invited everybody. So tonight I want to do another show on this after a lot of comments, and again we re-invited everybody, and again my good friend Bill Gouveia has graciously accepted, and also a young lady who's been in the news quite a bit, so I am surrounded by lightning rods this week. I'd like to introduce Traci Longa from Foxboro, actually a Foxboro resident.
Yeah.
Someone who actually has a dog in the fight, as we say, Bill.
There you go.
Okay, and we want to continue on this, and when you see this and then you get outraged because you think that we're one side or the other, again, I want to say you're invited to come on. We gave you the contact information. I keep sending invitations out. If you don't like what you hear here or you have a different opinion, by all means, it's up to you to get a hold of me and step up and come on in. You're more than welcome. And we're just trying to get facts out there and just dispel some rumors and see if we can, just get some information out there and see how read the pulse of the people. And because you know what, neither Bill nor I live in Foxboro. We really wouldn't benefit from a casino ourselves, like we wouldn't be getting money that the town of Foxboro would. We get some of the residual effects, and that's, people moving into town. We get, some meals tax, this and that and the other thing. But the real people, the people who matter the most are people from Foxboro. And Traci Longa has been in the news and papers and pretty much all over media. I don't know, if not by design, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And she has taken upon herself to come on down and talk to us. Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, and I just, we have asked everybody. So, Traci, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I mean, I could go on for an hour, but
We'll change the
basically
tape,
my
don't worry.
history in Foxboro is I did live in Massachusetts before. We had moved to Arizona for 6 years. With my husband's work. We had both our kids there, and about 10 years, it'll be almost 10 years, we moved back to Foxboro because his family was here and he actually graduated high school in Foxboro. So I've been here for, like I said, almost 10 years. Both my kids are in the school system,
Okay.
and I've been a stay-at-home mom for the last 10, actually the last 12 years, and I've been starting my own business and different things like that over the last year.
Okay. And you have started the discussion group on Facebook, and it's called Foxboro Casino Discussion.
Yeah.
Okay. And now you're competing with several other groups. Okay. And you have taken. You have decided your group's focus is to get information available, information up for the people, and then make an informed decision based on whether they want to go ahead with this proposal or not, based on fact, and at least have
Yeah.
some sort of an offer. Is that what you're looking for?
Well, it started just to be able to have a discussion.
Okay.
I had, wrote something on my own personal wall, and I had a lot of friends commenting, and I thought to myself, this is just going to take over my Facebook page. And so I created the discussion group, and with those, you can only invite your friends that you're friends with on Facebook. So it really, truly started with just my friends. And it was a way for me at the time, it just felt very hostile. I couldn't have face-to-face discussions with my friends on this issue because there was just so much anger, and quite honestly, you didn't even know who you could have a conversation with or not. So this was my way of kind of throwing it out there and being able to discuss it and find out more information and what's true and what's not, but in a non-confrontational, respectful way.
Right. So what is in this for you? What is it that you wanted to get out of all this? I mean, there's all kinds of stuff swirling around out there, and there's been articles in the paper, and we'll address some of that.
Yeah.
But what was the deciding factor that you wanted to move forward and get involved in this?
Well, I didn't understand going into it what it has become, honestly.
Obviously, you did not.
No. I really had no idea, and it's just kind of happened little by little. I started this discussion with friends, but then I had other people that had heard of it and that asked to join. And then, it just kind of snowballed. I had some of my friends leave the discussion. I had, so it just kind of evolved and became what it is now. And now I think it's gone from a discussion where we were trying to find out what facts were true and what facts weren't, to it's kind of become a resource for people, kind of like a casino library, I guess you can say. I have people contacting me, asking me for studies or, specific subjects and information, and it's definitely evolved.
So all the people that are on the site contribute to this, and they find things, and okay.
Yeah.
And I know, because like I say, I'm an equal opportunity gazer, and
Yeah.
Bill also. I'm sure you look at the sites both for and against, and
Yeah.
Bill wrote a couple of articles. Bill does his bi-weekly article, and he's done a few pieces on this, and one of the last ones about selectmen's race or voting in Foxboro, and people are voting on a single issue, and you were roundly rebuked by a resident there, but it turns out, and we rebuked by way of a letter to the editor, and it was kind of a stinging letter. It was, you're from Norwood, you're from Norton, butt out, type deal. But it turns out now, if in today's paper, apparently there's candidates coming forward, and that's what they're coming forward on, is one side or the other of the casino issue. So, Bill, you were right.
Well, I mean, to be honest, what the column said that I wrote was just sort of saying to Foxborough residents, be careful that you don't get sucked into a one issue debate. And I didn't know I knew that there was an incumbent who was very allegedly pro casino, and an incumbent who was had voted in favor of going forward with the investigation. But now you've got Ginny Coppola, who is, by the way, a wonderful lady, was a great state rep. I have tremendous respect for her. I consider her a friend. I know her very well, and I think she would be a great selectman, in any town. I think she would agree. She happens to be firmly and I think unalterably opposed to even the concept of a casino. And then you have other people who are in other positions. But all I wrote about was, don't let this become a one-issue thing, that there are other important things you need in your leaders, and just to beware. And, people like Mr. Naughton get a little upset. I mean, it's a stinging letter. If you're a columnist, all you care about is that they spell your name right in the letter and that you get a response. And I appreciate the fact that he reads my column, and that's a wonderful thing. But that's just an overreaction. I think the problem now in Foxborough is there's really not a pro-casino side and anti-casino side. What there is a let's talk about the possibility side, and a no, let's not even remotely discuss it
You're
side.
right. You're right.
And those are the two sides. There is no pro-casino side because there is no casino proposal as of yet.
Exactly.
That's right.
You
There's
know?
no actual. They have a pro-jobs group, and again, that's for anything, and that could be for anything that creates a job. But of course, it's centered around the casino issue because they, again, and nobody knows really how many jobs will be generated or how many jobs, permanent jobs, sustainable jobs there'll be. They have, estimates here or there, but without a plan in place,
Right.
nobody can tell you that. They can give you
No.
ballparks, but that,
Yeah.
ballpark doesn't pay the bills.
Right.
So, and then now, I got to ask you because, needless to say, you've been in the paper for different things. Do you have any ties to the Kraft organization or the Wynn organization? That's the sponsor of the casino, and Mr. Kraft, of course, is the landlord.
Yeah. No current ties having anything to do with this issue.
Okay.
My sister works at Wynn. My sister and my mom have worked for him in the past. I went to school with his daughter in junior high. Haven't talked to her for 20-some years. So, the fact is, I'm from Vegas. That's half of what pulled me into this issue, because I saw the facts that were being put out there, and I just knew that they weren't true, or they didn't seem right to me. And so I felt like I needed to investigate it more.
So now you said your sister works for Wynn Casinos or whatever, Wynn Resorts. Is that what it is?
In what is it, Wynn Las Vegas?
Okay.
I guess.
And she's a higher up there or something? Is she
No, she's,
executive branch, or what is
no,
she? The
she's
decision-making team, or?
No, unless they consult their banquet bartenders.
Okay, so she's a banquet bartender. So they
Yes.
usually, and I think Bill has enough business experience. I have enough business experience. Usually, banquet bartenders aren't the people that the decision makers consult when they want to build a multi-million-dollar facility somewhere outside the state.
It's who I talk to every time I'm going to build a multi-million-dollar facility.
Yes.
But that's probably why I haven't
Every
built
one of
any.
yours, yes.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
And to clarify it a little bit more, my sister actually has absolutely no idea that any of this is going on. I haven't personally spoken to her in months. So,
okay.
you know,
Okay, so basically you have no real ties, then there's nothing in it then in that line.
no,
Okay.
I am from Vegas. I do have ties, and that's why I think I have the understanding that I have.
Do you feel as though there's been a smear campaign against you?
I think that there is a group of people that have tried to shut down the discussion. They have attempted to stop the flow of information, and they haven't been able to. There's been several attempts to do that. They haven't been able to, so I think at that point, yeah, I think that their next move was to discredit me, although I don't see what that could accomplish.
Okay.
I'm not a board of selectmen. I'm not voting for anybody else.
Right.
So,
So your stand is you just want to see a plan in place before you make up your mind.
yeah, and I think that people should be able to. I think that there's an issue with somebody's stance or somebody's belief when they don't want people to question it, and they don't want them investigating it, they don't want them vetting the information. If your stance is really true, then you want people looking into it more. You want them to be informed. So that part of it, I guess, it is another reason why I'm in here. I just feel like people need information, and there's obviously a lot of other people that feel like I do too.
I think